Check, baby. Yeah, there you go. Uh-huh. That's gonna stop because
And these pick up
it's
any
off
time,
now.
right? Because these are the good kind. Because this is the good
it's
stuff.
off the. Once you cut that off,
You
that
don't
came
have to
off.
have it right in our faces.
No, it's gonna
Oh, I can
stop.
start singing right now.
You could. No, a little lower.
Give me
A little lower.
Tell me.
Break it down. Break it down.
Tell me.
Can you give me one of those? Hand me one of those things.
What one of them?
That thing you got in your mixer.
The stir?
Oh, stir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sign me up for that gala thing. I'm trying to get in on the
What you
art.
trying to do?
I'm trying to be an artsy black girl. I'm not trying to be a basic San Antonio.
I'm tired. Not an artsy black girl. Basic San Antonio.
The world around me is just, I always thought it was San Antonio, and then I started living and growing up and seeing stuff and then hearing the old folks stories that they didn't want to tell you whenever you were younger.
Y'all know about the little mayor meeting tonight?
It's tea. Yeah.
Y'all want to speak on that? What's name want me to text in what's it called and be like, what are his thoughts on sexual harassment or that kind of shit? I heard he was telling me how boy had got some allegation shit on him.
Allegations, nothing to do. Was convicted.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know all the ins and outs, but he was
I
like,
wanna say that,
he's
though,
scared
because
because Millhouse is mediating.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you gotta ask the hard question. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm scared.
Looked up these questions. What you mean he's
Yeah,
scared?
like, he was acting like he didn't want it. He's like, hey, can you text it in? And then I'll ask it from that point. I'm like, nigga, just ask him. Like, that's the shit that the people want to know.
Millhouse don't work for the city.
I don't know. And I was like, what you getting cool for these white folks, man? I was like, finna go coon, bro. He was like, he cut my head down. I was like, for what, man? Rock that shit.
Rock
I was
it.
like, all right, never mind.
Yeah. Don't change up for these white folks. It's
Mhm.
important. That's why I grew up on dreads. I was like, I'm done trying to cater to all the white stigma of how
Right.
you should look.
Right, we gotta look how we look.
Yeah.
Natural. How much time we got, Dad? Give me a time check.
I'm ready to see you.
Oh, okay.
You got me good. You girls good.
Check, everybody. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
You bring us close a little bit?
Yeah, y'all can bring that in. You can stretch it out just a little bit because what this mic does, it gets you right here. So,
Oh, okay.
so
okay.
it needs to. Even if you got I got you.
I think I got it. So push this up a little bit. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's it. Perfect.
Back, tight the back.
There we go. Just, oh, perfect. Just stable.
All right, good tone. Sound check.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
Mic check. 1 2. 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, we can come a little closer.
Everybody's in frame. Everybody phone on silent.
Yes, it is now. But I need to drop it so I don't look at it because I will get distracted. But I kind of want the people to see my really cool pop socket. It's Ankara. It's dope.
Yeah, Fonzie.
Very
It's just something that's Amazon shop list.
Yes, sir.
I can't hear
Alrighty.
detail. Am I supposed
You
to?
can't hear me?
3.
No,
You cannot hear me at all.
I can't hear nobody talking.
Oh, for real?
In my headphones? Nope.
Check.
This is bad. Oh no, that's right. Check.
Now I can hear him.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
All right, let's go. Hey, Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Detail Data Podcast Network, and we live from the Barber Cave. Got a pretty high studio audience in the building. You know what I'm saying? I want to give a quick shout out real quick before we get started to 5K Dave, 4K Dave, whichever you want to do it. Yeah, the Sub family. We got Sandra in the building as well, and also accompanied by my wonderful wife, Linda Johnson. She's in the studio audience as well, and our special guest tonight. You know, they got open seats here. Pull up anytime they want. But it's been a minute, and they've been up to so much, which is the norm. Always elevating, always uplifting, always helping our community, always out in the forefront, always. Let's welcome to the show. Give a warm round of applause, please, for Christian and Uche in the building. The dynamic duo, power couple, baby. So what's going on? What's going on? Because I want to go get right into it. A lot of things on the agenda. We got this mayor thing going on tonight. You've been on TV. You've been interviewing everybody. You've been just every time I see you look up, you getting ready for something. Uche, he's doing major things. He's got a message for the brothers tonight. I just kind of want to give y'all the floor, low key, because I mean, it's what y'all do.
It's been a busy and amazing 2021 already. First, thank you for having us. You know, we do drop in, but thank you so much for having us again. It always feels good when your own community kind of gives you the opportunity and the space and the platform. So this is like one of our favorite types of interviews and our favorite spaces, of course, in San Antonio. But yeah, we've been busy. 2021 kicked off, and we just been kicking it everywhere. I did a whole bunch of interviews last week.
Yeah, let's start there. Like, what was that about? Like, you came in, got clinked up, like, yo, it's going down.
It went
emergency cut.
Yeah, well, okay, so I'm a publicist, so we have to have street cred wherever we go. When we kick off new campaigns, we kind of reintroduce ourselves to different audiences. And so last week, I did Ken's 5, Spectrum News. I think I did something on KABB. Did 3 or 4 podcasts. The goal is to just constantly have a message.
How are you doing this? You just texting somebody like, yo, I need to get on.
No,
is it kind of like here? You just drop through it.
She just talks a lot of shit on Twitter, and then folks listen, and they're like, "Oh, she has a lot to say. She got a lot to share. Maybe she'll be good about this podcast or this news segment or that interview." And
that's tea.
And that's the tea.
So just speak up. Shit.
Speak your mind and
always talking.
But what was the initial thing that you said or spoke on, or the action that was taken that got the attention to even have you on?
Well, okay, 2020, of course, gave everybody a lot to say. And the goal was to say those things that you ain't had no fear. Nobody's walking up into your face because we're all in quarantine. Say those things on all the platforms that you can. So our message in 2020 was protect us too. Our message was plastered all over the walls of our office. It was plastered all over our social media. All of our mentees in 2020 were social justice activists. And we put ourselves in a space to have conversations that people were scared to have. And it made us into accidental activists. And we get called on often to reveal some hard truths within either the entrepreneurial community or in the African American community. And it's just...
So what was the last riff that happened that it was like, we need to talk to you? What are you talking about?
Oh, well, this past one was about being a black woman. Marvin Hurst is so cool. He's an amazing journalist, amazing photojournalist.
Shout out to Marvin Hurst and
Shout out to Marvin Hurst. He's been an amazing mentor as well. And by passing, right? He's not a person we talk to every single day, but when we do talk, we always have something great to share. And as a black woman that's owned a business in this city for 10 years and works with my husband and worked with a lot of different diverse people, this conversation was about, how comfortable it's been, what has my experience been. And he interviewed a couple other women, a young lady by the name of Piper, who I regard as my niece, who is a high school senior, and then of course the poet laureate of San Antonio, Andrea Vocab, very talented black woman, the first black poet laureate of San Antonio, and a number of other entrepreneurs and community leaders to discuss our experiences as being black women in roles of leadership in our spaces and how we have what have our experiences been.
That's interesting you say that, because just in the same breath you're talking about how this lady was the first black poet. It's like we still in just 2020 something, and we still dealing with the first of doing things. You know what I'm saying? And like to celebrate these things that are coming of age, which shouldn't, you know. But anyway, so that's in the same breath as saying that's part of the black woman experience, or you know, black people in general. It's like we're still getting these firsts,
right?
You know.
Yeah, it gets all exhausting a little bit, and you know, we have to sit back and say, what are we really proud of in terms of being the first or being the only? Like, people want us to celebrate being the only black full-service PR firm in the city. I can't celebrate that. I feel that it tells a lot about the environment, the entrepreneurial ecosystem, to have only one of something in 2021. And even 10 years ago when we started, the goal was never to celebrate being the only black full-service PR firm in the city. It is to hopefully usher in, you know, this being a wide open market, and there's availability, there's opportunity here, and the goal should be the representation of us can introduce other people into this role, into this system. Yeah. Not gonna celebrate it. It's like celebrating getting out of jail over celebrating graduating from college.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, that's powerful. I mean, so what's next on the agenda?
Well, right now, you know, our goal and our mission is to really educate our community. And of course, with the COVID pandemic, we've realized that a lot of black folk and brown people don't want to take the vaccine. Or, you know, I mean, we all know that last year, we didn't even believe that black people could get the COVID virus. I mean, that was...
I did not ever not believe that, but that was a little thing that they was trying to run with, like, black folks just gonna be...
Right.
Like,
immune to it.
Like, what? How?
So, you know, our community has been played with this misinformation for so long, starting from thinking that we can get it to, oh, we don't get it to, oh, we get it but not much. And now the reality is that 3 times as many black folk are dying more than their white counterparts. That should not be the case. Never the case. And even now with the vaccine availability, I was looking at some statistics yesterday. 67% of the vaccine have been doled to white people. Only 4.5% have been to Hispanic population, and only about 3.7% to the black population. And this is the total number of vaccines. So 200,000 vaccines, 67% to white, and you can understand the breakdown from there, which is minuscule compared to the population that we have. If anything, more Hispanic individuals should have gotten the vaccine to the tune of 60%.
Especially in this city.
Especially in this city. So yeah, there's a discrepancy going on.
Wow. Okay. So, man,
we're always on the education.
Heavy. So what was it that made you guys like see the truth or see the science? Because I'm still ain't convinced. I'm not in no rush to take this vaccine. I'm gonna just be real 100. But I do see everybody's taking it now. Everybody's taking it.
It's not
you know, I remember this time last year was like, well, you know, we won't see a vaccine for a decade, right? It was that. Remember that?
Right.
Like, there's no vaccine in sight. Like, don't even consider that. Then a year later, it's like, yo, we got this shit. We got all kinds, too. What you want? Red, blue, green? Which kind you want?
We got the 2-for-1.
We got the cheap shit. We got, you go to the hood, you can get that Johnson & Johnson. Yes.
Well,
but, go ahead.
Well, you know, the reality
is it because science is back? Like,
No, the reality is this. I'm not a doctor, but from my research and what I've seen is that they have been researching how to properly design and create vaccines quicker.
Since when? Because I didn't hear this for many.
This is so for
hearing we wouldn't see shit for 10 years.
No, because the for example, for a vaccine to come into market, you have to go through a lot of clinical trials where the government approves.
Yeah, years, right?
And those clinical trials take years. The actual production of the vaccine actually takes a short amount of time. is when you do the clinical trials where you have to approve from the FDA, approve from all the different government organizations, which was sped up in rapid speed. Usually
How can you speed up?
Because
Now,
the
you
government
have
is
to
all about
remember,
paperwork.
Paperwork is important. The FDA is important, but this is not a new vaccine.
Right.
Remember when the quarantine just started and everybody was
What you mean
turning
it's
over
not
their-
new? We didn't
It's
hear
not
about
new.
it when it came out. When
When
COVID hit. They didn't say, "Hey
coronavirus
guys,
is not
relax.
new.
We've been working on this vaccine. It'll be here soon."
Coronavirus is not new. Coronavirus
We know-
has
yeah,
been circulating and an
True.
issue for
This
a
is
very
true.
long time. It had to have a perfect storm to literally burst our bubble. But coronavirus is not new. That's why we saw on the back of the Lysol bottle that coronavirus has been on the Lysol bottle for years. It's not a new situation.
This is true.
The science of creating valuable and workable and approvable vaccinations is not new. Also, you know what else is not new?
What's that?
Convalescent plasma.
Which is what the
What
base.
Negroes have been given plasma for years. We have been given portions of
So
ourselves to science to create things like vaccinations and medications for years.
Since when?
What do you mean?
All the
Man,
plasma, all
most of the
Can be relaxed.
medication that's created in this world is created from testing white men.
Are you
Not
sure?
white. Well, I'm pretty sure about that.
I am sure. Most of the diseases might have been found from testing white men, but most of the
Okay, well,
cures
then
have
that's
been
what I'm
found
thinking
from
about. I'm thinking about
interacting
disease.
with black cells.
Okay, that is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Henrietta.
Because if you think
Come
about
on, Mama Henrietta gave us everything we needed to have.
They did it without her permission.
Okay,
I know.
and that's one of the reasons why people are having such a hard time with the vaccine, mainly, and that's
I'm
something that we
not buying it.
identify.
Y'all wasn't saying this 10 months ago. Everybody in
First
this
of all, I
room
got
was
Obamacare. I don't
singing
never talk
a
about health.
different tune. We was all singing a different tune. The whole country was singing a tune, and all of a sudden, it's like, oh, you didn't know Corona's been around. Like, what I do know is, it take time to see how something really works. Like, this shit might look good in a year, but who's to say y'all ain't gonna be zombies in 10 years or growing a horn out your head?
Oh, but we're
You know
gonna be
what I'm
here
saying?
though, right? Because coronavirus can kill you in 2 weeks. Do you feel like being intubated or a quick little on your arm?
See, that's it. You weren't singing that tune last.
I think I was.
And let me
man.
add to this.
think I was.
Look, with
David
that,
is-
with-
But help me help
Look,
the folks.
look.
Because there's people out there that's like, I don't trust the government, and why should we?
Why should we?
You know what I'm saying? Like, what
at the same
reason?
time-
We just watched an insurrection. What reason should we trust the government?
we should not trust the government. We should trust the scientists who have been working diligently, who are black and brown individuals.
So, but
That
this,
be making
but
sense.
it,
Did you
but is,
know-
but is this not this stuff not politicized?
It's
You
definitely
don't
politicized.
think there's a big, huge political attachment to this whole situation?
And there we go. So let's talk about the political attachment. More than 70% of the vaccinations that have been distributed to white communities. There has been unjust amounts of a disparity in the amount of vaccinations even distributed to marginalized and at-risk and communities of color. And that's where you get political. They are using our fear to manipulate how we get our care. And that is where you need to look at and see, all right, politically, they're saving themselves. Politically, they are creating opportunities, more opportunities than we have to get care that we deserve.
True.
And we have to objectify that system. We have to move into that system and say, but why are we not offering it more? Why are these new campaigns coming out? Why do we even have to start new campaigns about black people not getting it or brown people not getting the vaccine? It's because predominantly they didn't expect us to even want it. Because we still didn't believe that we could die from it. I lost 7 family members to COVID in 2020.
Yeah, we didn't lose anybody, but we definitely. My parents got it. Our parents got it. We were blessed to keep everybody still here.
Right.
But they, my mama's still dealing with it, and that shit was
Long-term
that way.
effects.
The long-term effects of COVID-19 are far outweigh the fear of getting the vaccine.
And the long-term effects of the vaccination. It's a lot of misinformation out there. It's not going to
There
affect
ain't
pregnant
enough information
women.
out there for me.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I know.
Or it's
so.
not in the platforms that you read. You see what I'm saying?
No, but they have been putting information out there, but not for us to digest, not for our community to digest.
On the drive here from downtown, 4 different segments on TPR was about the disparities of COVID-19, the disparities in the distribution of the vaccination, the disparities in the death. That's on Texas Public Radio. I don't know, not one Negro outside of this Negro that listens
NPR?
Religiously.
Texas Public Radio.
I listen to it every day.
Okay.
No, TPR,
So,
not NPR.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
TPR.
No, I listen to NPR.
KSTX. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that we share.
Yep.
Wall Street Journal is not something
Man,
that
I
we
listen
share.
to a lot of shit that I don't share. I listen to both sides of the fence and then some.
Okay.
All right, we have to.
I think you should.
We got to scour. So we started a little Facebook page to hopefully triage the information that we from reputable resources. It's called Our Culture Matters. So go ahead and look that up on your Facebook.
Or like the page.
Like the page, please. And we are doing nothing but sharing information from reputable resources. We are trying to create a triage, a space where people can get great information, get the information that they need, recognize the disparities in where the information is being sent, recognize what the community is saying, and how getting information, it can just change your mindset and change the way in which you make this very safe decision. We're doing this as a free resource because we kept finding that all of the info that we needed to make the decision to get the vaccine was in places behind paywalls. It was in places where Black people don't normally get featured, so we don't see ourselves reading those spaces. It was given in medical journals that we don't get
Just like
subscriptions
everything
to.
else.
Just like everything else. Right? So we gave it a new home. We packaged it up and give it a new home, and hopefully we can create some very interactive conversations around it.
That's what we're doing right now, because I'm trying to get you to convince me to
I
go
can't
get that
convince you.
shot. Man.
I cannot
like,
convince
what
you.
convinced you? Like what was
I
the
wanna
final
travel.
straw? And you was like, hey, I just traveled. I just left and came back. I'm good.
Okay.
Well, I can't go
But
to my...
everybody that you left, and we don't know about them.
No, but
See,
I got
it's
my
about-
shot before I came back. We was good.
Well, I'll tell you straight up. I can't go to Nigeria without a shot. I want to go back home. I want to go see my family.
And to me,
They're not gonna let you in.
But sometimes I just feel like that's what they're gonna do, man. They're gonna make it to where it's all right. Can't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like
coming.
You know what I mean?
And
Like,
that's
and to me, it's like
marginalization for
where.
you. That's
At what
systemic
point do we
racism.
be like, no, fuck that. Let's hunker down and be like, nah. Like,
Nah,
as
what?
far our rights go, you know, like, because everybody don't want to do that shit. I'm not in no rush to put some foreign shit in my body. I'm just letting you be real.
I'm for it.
just, you know what I mean?
My mama was the same way. My mama was
Like
the same way. My
my
mother
wife
was
is taking it. My dad's finna take it. Everybody, damn near more people. I know more people that have taken it. Like again, where 6 months ago it was
We're
taken
not
in the
for it.
platoon. But I'm just still not like I'm not saying I'm not gonna take it, but I'm still not in a rush at all.
because you don't know what it'll do to you.
Yeah, I mean, man, I don't know what that is.
What's your question? What questions you got about it? Let me ask.
I just feel like it ain't been around long enough.
Okay.
I feel like ain't enough testing. I feel like I don't
Have
know.
you looked into the testing?
Listen, yes, I have, and what I do know is we just started taking this. When did we start taking these shots? And what? When they released it?
January.
Like January.
So we're coming back around. Which is January, February, March. So.
Well,
They started testing the vaccination and against the placebo in early June.
Okay, so that still gives us what? A year?
Well, it gives us time. They had a pool of people, more than 40,000, and more than 10% of those were African American. And also within that pool, there were pregnant people, people with AIDS, people with different pre-existing conditions. There were people that had albinism. They created a pool that was a visualization of
And
Americans.
that's all good and dandy.
Right. And then the FDA approved of them, of the three we have now, right? And then there is an organization, a black organization full of doctors. It's 100 years old. It's called the American Medical Association. It's the Black FDA. They have for 100 years been taking FDA research, recombing through it, positioning themselves as a devil's advocate, and ensuring that black bodies and black lives have been considered in the testing and processing of vaccinations, medications, treatment plans, doctor analyses, and things of that sort for 100 years. And even those people have signed off. And I take their word for it. I have to, because one, healthcare is a big business. It's a big monster that we have to.
Business.
It's a business.
It's a business in the end.
It's a business. But remember
Who
when
makes
Kicks
money
came
from
out,
this
Mom
these
approved.
shots? Does anybody who stands to make bread off this?
Oh, all the pharmaceutical companies.
Everybody in the world.
Okay,
Also, you get to stay alive to spend your dollars. So,
I was already alive.
all right,
And that's Timmy.
come on now, we take a shot at this Tito's and do
Just
whatever
do that,
we
man. I
want.
tell you, listen, man. I ain't even got chicken pox, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck all that shit.
Nah, I ain't got chicken pox, but I was
You know what I'm
still.
saying?
Come on now.
Yeah, I stood around
We
many
put
family
foreign
members.
things in our body every day.
We about to do this right
let
now.
me-
Yeah, but I've been putting them foreign things in my body for years.
Let me say this: if you're willing to pass the blunt with a whole bunch of strangers, you don't know where their
I
mouths
don't pass
been.
my blunt to strangers.
Hey, you may not, but there are a whole bunch.
I don't.
A whole bunch of our folks be doing that.
I don't fuck with them kind of people.
They be sharing blunts, doing
I
a whole
don't fuck
bunch of
with
things
them people.
together.
I mean, it's too many of us with aunties and uncles on heroin up here talking about we ain't gonna get the coronavirus vaccine. Come on now, they live through everything.
There's too much unknown.
Man, stop it, man. Heroin, man. Come on, man.
Hey, what is
I
up?
want you to know that.
Come on, that's self-inflicted.
I just want you to know that when you complain about your rights, you're politicizing it. For the greater good, you're politicizing it. If
Rights? We
you
ain't
are
got no
more
rights.
concerned about your rights than you are for science, you're politicizing it.
I beg to differ.
I know.
Ooh, I mean that was a word though. You got to listen to that though.
No, I beg to differ because I mean, I can speak on my truth. This is my truth.
Please
you know what I'm
do.
saying? And my truth done got me this far.
Yes.
Here's
Everybody loves a little
This
problem.
is something new that none of us have.
And that's part of my problem.
So here's an answer. Here's an answer to
He done brought out the FAQs.
Yeah, I gotta
take
bring out the
this shot.
FAQs. Because, let's take this shot and
Yeah,
I'll
'cause
share
I
you.
need-
I know your question.
I need
Right?
information.
When you get your shot,
'Cause
take
listen,
your shot.
Listen, when
Salute.
you learn
Vaccine.
something new, you apply it.
Protect your village.
So
And I'm down to have a different perspective with new education.
so here.
So educate me.
So when folks ask, COVID-19
Ooh,
vaccine is unsafe
Good.
because it was developed too quickly, right? Now, first of all, the authorized vaccines are proven safe and efficient and effective. Although they were developed in record time, they have gone through the same rigorous Food and Drug Administration process as other vaccines, meeting all safety standards. No steps were skipped. Instead, we can thank the unprecedented worldwide collaboration and investment for the shorter time frame on development of the vaccines.
Man, they still ain't figured out how to get rid of get rid of athlete's foot, man. I'm tired of this shit. Man.
And here,
That's marketing.
and here's the kicker. Here's the part that I believe everyone always has a question. The clinical trials and safety reviews actually took about the same amount of time as other vaccines. What
Such as?
what slows down
Yellow fever.
Because before that, we was talking about
Tuberculosis.
this time last year they was like, we ain't gonna see shit for at least 18
but you
years.
got to understand.
No
something.
one said, nah.
The reason why
We got this 3-month thing on
the
the way.
reason why
a year
it
and a
gets
half to 3
approved
years.
slowly. The reason why.
Previously, it was a year and a half to 3 years to come up with a vaccine.
Yeah.
That's what
Right.
the prediction was, not 18 years.
I mean, we
I didn't
can
say
do
no
live
18
on it.
years. I
feel
said
like
8 to
it's
10
okay.
years.
Oh.
But folks, the reason why it takes
It's a short
the
time.
reason why it takes that 3 years time flying because whenever you submit a document to the government, like everybody else, we know how the government slow is, right?
Pushing paper.
Pushing paper. You're gonna go through
saying,
like
yeah.
5, 6, 7.
Hurry up and wait.
So 4 months later, you finally get that stamp of approval. You're like, oh wow, no, this time
You seen what
they
they made
just said
AstraZeneca
F
do?
all of that.
Man, I'm
send it right
ex-military.
directly.
I know how to
Let's
do it.
Look,
figure it out.
The AstraZeneca vaccination has been given out all over Africa. They turned over their data to FDA earlier this week. FDA said, oh, it's old. It's not old. They took their sweet ass time to look it over to the point where the numbers became expired. But the AstraZeneca vaccination has already been massively distributed across the continent of Africa. And
Europe.
we have to, and Europe. So we have to pay attention to the global community. If they coming into America, that's marketing. They have the right network. They have the right, leads, the right lobbyists to get themselves into the American distribution cycle. However, we see worldwide through this research, worldwide doctors unprotected by politics.
Yeah.
unprotected by politics. We're able to collaborate and create something that can be distributed all over the place. The only thing I have a problem with is Johnson & Johnson. How they get theirs in one shot?
I'm saying, why trust Johnson? Like, we don't trust them. With
Johnson killed too many babies, and it's about the talcum part. It's about...
So how they was even able to get in the game?
Pfizer killed a whole bunch of Africans, too.
Yeah, listen.
Money.
So why are we taking this shit again?
Because we need it to travel.
You just told me they killed a bunch of Africans. You can't go back to Nigeria, but
I'm just talking about history.
Nigerians.
I'm just talking about history.
History is there.
The history
We
is
have
there.
to pay attention to the history in order to make a decision for what we want to do. We've all watched 500,000 people in America die.
Yeah, we did.
There's no ticker on the bottom of your screen that counts how many people died from the vaccine.
Because it's still ticking.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh, from the vaccine. I'm sorry. I'm
There we
talking
go.
from lack of the vaccine.
So is the
vaccine.
amount of deaths from smoking.
Dang, this is coming from my man tonight.
I know. Like, what's with the attack, nigga? You're not even on the show. So what I fucking smoke? I smoke and I fucking enjoy that shit.
Sit here and pull in
You're not talking
every
about-
single chemical from a cigarette.
Cigarette. Hey, you don't want to take the vaccine. These cigarettes are generational too.
See? Now, what if COVID was generational? What if we could pass it to our children?
Look, what if my uncle had boobs to be my aunt? So let's not do the if thing. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it. Let's come on, man. Y'all trying to cover me just because I ain't buying this shit.
Look,
you know what I'm saying?
no.
Like, listen, man. I'm a free thinker. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Free
listening
thinking.
for good information, and I've heard a little bit tonight.
So during quarantine, did you take quarantine? Did you stay home?
Nah,
You was all over the place. Huh?
you know it. I was coming to y'all house cutting your hair. Remember eating a salad that took 3
That
hours
was
to make.
before quarantine.
Come on, man.
That was
Whatever,
pre-COVID.
Uche,
Y'all
you a whole
niggas
head of hair.
know. Y'all niggas know I was on the road.
I grew up see this hair? See,
This is his quarantine
this is
hair.
quarantine hair right here, D.
Okay.
You know.
However,
y'all
I did
niggas
get
know
my
I was
hair
all
fixed.
over the place. I've been rocking the roller. I've been moving and shaking, just being wise with my shit, always masked up.
Masked
you know what
up.
I'm saying?
You listen to that,
you know what I'm
Lou.
saying? Yeah, I mean, it's duh.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Look. The reality is that the vaccine is safe and it's effective.
So let me ask
Now,
you this.
Who would you trust with this news and information? Like, who could sit here and be like, nah, you got to get it? And you
Nah,
like,
Obama
all
couldn't
right.
sit here and say it.
Really, Barack?
He got a whole video.
Yeah, he couldn't even tell me that shit. No, and I'll tell you my biggest issue. It's just, to me, it just ain't been dealing with it long enough. You feel me? Like, I just feel like, who's to say in 5 years, everybody that took that shit get fucked up? Some bullshit come out.
Or you get superpowers?
No,
I think that is a
come on,
possibility.
Listen, let's not front like that's not a possibility. How many commercials do you hear? Listen, if you took this drug back in XYZ, you were entitled to some money
That's
because
definitely a
people have
possibility.
died.
And
Like,
that's
let's
something
not
we
act like that
definitely
ain't.
need to consider.
When the FDA approves medications, that means that medication house, and you can research this, it has to have the insurances in place just in case some silly shit happens.
Like, you just die. I don't see that money.
There we
Also,
go.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to.
One thing to consider is that the FDA also says that cannabis has no medical use. So that's another way to look at it. But also, I want to pose a question.
Yeah, they also said
what
it
would
would
it
make
take for you to say?
They
I'll
said
consider it.
cannabis had no use without no scientific research whatsoever behind it.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like, we can't
That's that
completely
government
take the
again.
word of the
That's
FDA.
it.
Yeah,
But
that's the government, right?
For you,
exactly?
What would make you comfortable enough? What, like, guidelines or what do you?
Jesus
need
would
to hear
have
or
to
see?
come sit right here. It'd be like,
Not Jesus.
Yeah,
White
yeah.
Jesus?
But that's
What's Jesus?
Yeah.
you know, there's only one Jesus, the original Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Look.
Him and his friends, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and
That painter
John.
on the south side.
Listen, huh?
Right. Hey, is this from the south side? Right. I'm not here.
Hey, come on now.
You got that five.
All right, Moses, nigga, pick somebody.
Okay.
Yeah,
Moses.
Look,
Jesus would have to come sit right here in this podcast.
in the end, it's up to our individual's choice to make that decision.
Exactly.
Now, if you choose to not take it, you may be immune to it in terms of, I don't get too sick. But what you pose risk is you can infect the people around you and the loved ones who may not necessarily have the same immune system like you do that is as strong. And that's really
that's a good selling point.
and that's really the key aspect.
That's
because
good selling.
And that is my main point of getting the vaccination because of my wife. She's immunocompromised.
Right. And if you think about it, the reason why a lot of African Americans were dying at such a disproportionate rate was you still had black folk that had to go to work. They didn't have the luxury of working from home or to be able to be quarantined. So they go into all the spaces where they have to touch people. And they're not getting sick, but they go home and they see their grandma or they see someone who doesn't have a strong immune system, and they interact with that person, and that's how that person passes away. So it's up to those individuals who have strong immune system.
They should have stayed away from them.
I mean, but
You
not
can go
everyone could afford to go in quarantine. Like there were folks that had to downsize during quarantine. Folks had to exit their homes.
I know everybody had to make adjustments.
Right.
I get that.
So you have 12 people in the home. One person goes out, brings it back. Probably they don't get sick, but everybody else gets sick. Then you have 7 family members.
Listen, I'm feeling y'all. I'm digging y'all new tune. It's
Hey, you know what? I want you to tune into the town hall.
Yeah.
So we got 3 town halls for you coming up, hosted by University Health. We got black doctors, black experts, black community leaders coming together on the facts versus
doctors stand to make money off this shit, right?
How many?
Who?
Well, first of all, we got a couple of black doctors, black pharmacists.
The medical and the physician, they connected.
The doctors are not.
But they're giving these things away for free.
And they're getting paid to do that.
Yeah, they're getting paid.
Come on, let's not act like it's not a check behind it.
It's
The
gotta
check
be
is
a
that
check
normal
behind it.
salary.
But that
The
shouldn't
check is the
prevent
normal
you from.
salary.
They got to work. So should they be out there with their families starving and not getting paid just because they're doctors?
They already getting
I'm
paid.
getting paid.
No,
to bring
they're
you this
not.
message
They have to
today.
get paid by
What you
hour
want?
just because they're showing up.
They getting paid from every other drug that's out there being made. Every time you go to the doctor, they telling you to try some new shit.
So for the COVID drug, it's all free to. As far as you live in the United States, it's free. The doctors are already being paid their normal wages per hour or whatever that they said.
That's what those COVID funds that's in the stimulus package, that's what they're going to. That's why as soon as the stimulus package got signed, all of a sudden, everybody can get the COVID vaccine now because they need to fund it. Before, you had people that was out here paying $10,000 to jump the line and get it.
Exactly.
That's how people were capitalizing off of, not just everyday people like me and you.
And that's how black folks were not getting the vaccine.
Because we didn't have the access, we didn't have the support, we didn't have the capital.
As usual.
Right.
Which is a whole other discussion.
So I'm loving the fact that we now have black doctors, Dr. Stribling. We have now black doctors in our community that have been allotted doses.
I need a black doctor on the show, man.
Okay,
All right, we got you.
I'm gonna bring Tommy around here. She gonna eat you alive.
Tommy
but
Austin.
you know,
She finna eat me alive. Ain't gonna say nothing.
Just have questions.
I'm just gonna have questions. Because this is your shit. Y'all are my homies. Y'all publicists. Y'all ain't doctors.
no, we're not doctors.
No, not. But we just
have
do
to.
it.
We not doctors.
We just do a lot of research.
I mean,
Yeah, everybody go to
okay,
YouTube University. I feel that.
No. This
I
is
know
not
you
YouTube.
ain't just out here trying to
I'm talking about reading medical journals, FDA
No,
report.
if anybody do their homework, y'all do y'all homework. And
got
I've
to.
seen it first hand.
We had to write a lot to get this opportunity. Going back to put our hustle hats on, you know, we peeped game early that our community was at risk, and we've been on a space where we want to do business that affects our community for years. So, reaching out to University Health to have these conversations and to, you know, opening up the opportunity to reach our community. It wasn't a hustle per se, but we definitely had to hustle to get this place, to get this, to be able to do this research and have the time available for them to make the time available for us to do this type of research and things. I think having us in this space is beneficial to the San Antonio.
Yeah.
We've been outliers, super minorities for years. And now we've been able to get back into our spaces, back into the faces of the people. We used to do tons of outreach for Alamo Works. What was that? The work people when we did the job fair.
The Eastside Job Fair. We worked with City of San Antonio East Point office and Workforce Commission.
Workforce Solutions Alamo.
Workforce Solutions Alamo.
There we go. So we did all of this research about black people working. Then we jumped into development. How many black folks understand development, getting into the turds, getting into housing. But now we're talking about healthcare, and I feel like this is such rewarding work. But we're still business owners. We're still parts of this community. So we got to break it down into the spaces in which we understand. No, we're not doctors, but we are looking to protect our investment, which is our community.
No, we're not doctors, but we are communicators.
Yeah, pretty good.
Doctors are communicators.
And they make us right. They made us right. Everything about
That
this
part.
campaign. So if you go to getvaccinated.sa.com, getvaccinated.sa.com, you'll find a lot of the content that we've been able to compile on top of our new Facebook page that allows for people to research and get the information that they need. But we're trying to cover all the bases, and that's why people come to us. Yes, we are getting our coins, but at the same time, we're making sure that the representation that we have and that we lead with is better in our community. We cannot convince anybody to get this vaccination. We can only provide the information that they need to make a decision that's healthy for them
And their family.
So we're also going to ask folks, don't try to convince people not to get it. Don't attempt to stop somebody's movement. It's important. We allow ourselves to make the decisions that we need to make for us. My mom was an anti-vaxxer. I learned it when we was on our way to Nigeria. She did not get me any vaccinations. And, because there was moments where, vaccinations cause autism, vaccinations cause, eye problems, and vaccinations cause cleft lip, Asperger's disease, all kinds of things. And so my mom opted out. I was a premature baby, underweight, and not addicted, but allergic to damn near everything coming up. And it might have been because I wasn't vaccinated. But as I grew older and as I grew stronger, I began to start doing my own separate research, and I was able to go and get a lot of the vaccinations necessary, outside of yellow fever, a lot of the vaccinations necessary to continue on. But I never told my mom, like, hey, you really fucked me up, Now I got to go get 13 shots before I get on this flight. But no, that was a decision that she made. She had the research that she had the things that she did. She never even told me. She left it up to me once I found out. So don't convince anybody not to get it. Just allow people to find the research and get the research. Spreading misinformation is the biggest part of why we have such a hard time with this discrepancy right now. Is there's so much misinformation. Unless you got the facts, shut the fuck up.
For real.
Touche. All right, well, moving on. Moving on, hey folks, go get your shot. Go get your shot. If you feel like you need the shot, go get the shot. If you don't share that with somebody else. Let them go get their shot. Let people get the information. You heard it right here. You want to put out the place that they can find out.
So
At 7 o'clock
True
tonight.
fact.
on Sunday, 5:15 p.m., we're going to have the Facts vs. Fears virtual town hall. We're excited to partner with University Health. Tune into facebook.com/TANTV.
That's the African American Network.
African American Network, and also that YouTube page, the African American Network. We're going to be streaming live. Come with your questions. We have black doctors, experts that will be ready and able to answer all your questions concerning the COVID-19 vaccine and how it affects you. Please, please, please get your shot, get your vaccine, protect yourself, protect your family.
Protect your village.
Protect your village.
That's our hashtag.
All right, cool. Hand clap for that. I do definitely appreciate y'all sharing that stuff with us because it's very important. You gave me a lot to think about. But speaking of protecting the village, Uche, you have some things that I know you got going on, and some things that you wanted to share with the men of the community, and I'm pretty sure in so many words it's all in the event to protect the community.
Of course.
What was it that you had or you wanted to share with us?
So I've been with me and a couple of brothers of ours. We came together about 3 years ago, and we formed the Black and Brown Men's Initiative. We realized in our community that our men were suffering from different kind of things: mental health, physical health, just anything that you can imagine. And this group was formed as a way of really bringing us together, a camaraderie of some sorts, and ensuring that we all come out of whatever it is we're going through together. Whether that's, issues in family, issues in your job, issues in your mental health, just who you are as an individual, finding yourself. We realized, we saw and we met a lot of gentlemen who needed this, who just, they were not, in our community, seeing a therapist is not.
It's new shit.
It's new shit to all of us. People don't like folks don't say, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with me. I don't need to see a therapist." But we all go through shit. We all have issues. So this was that way of really bridging that gap where men who don't feel comfortable going to a therapy session can meet with like-minded individuals and really have that come to Jesus moment, to lack of better terms, and just share what's on their mind, share what's going on with their family. And hopefully other gentlemen in the group can give proper advice, give proper counsel to whomever, the younger cats or even the older cats who have questions. So we've been doing this strong, and of course during the pandemic, it was a lifesaver for me, just being able to have a group of gentlemen that, even though we were no longer meeting in person, we could still share, hey, this is what's going on in my life. I am going through this kind of shit. I am having these kind of stresses. I need to be a better person. I need to be a better man. And it's actually helped. And we've had individuals who literally just got out of jail show up and be like, hey, I need this, so that I don't like the group place they're sending me to. I'll rather be with you guys because I understand where you guys are coming from. We've had individuals who've lost jobs show up and just looking for a new purpose in life. We've had individuals who've moved down to San Antonio and trying to find a connection with other men. We've had individuals who just want to activate other men into different organizing movements. So, we've been doing this for 3 years going on. We currently have a few organizing activities going that we are excited about. We're training our men to be more proactive, meaning that protect Black and brown women is one of our main goals, because we also realize that Black men and brown men are the perpetrators and the worst perpetrators among our women. And how else? What I mean by that? I'm not saying that all Black and brown men are, beating on their wives or nothing. But what I'm talking about protecting is when Black and brown women get attacked outside, we do not provide the additional comfort or security to ensure that they are better people, so that when they come home, they don't feel like, you know what, you're not providing something for me. And that's where we want to train our men to understand. The same way as Black and brown men, we go out in the world and we come back stressed out, and our wives or our girlfriend or significant other comes through and they cook us a whole meal and give us massages and make us feel good. As men, we need to be able to provide that same kind of comfort. We need to be able to provide that same kind of grace. We need to provide the same kind of understanding. And that's something that we've lacked. And that's just historical. That's due to our suppressors and our colonizers training us to feel like, oh, we are the dominant and we should own our people. No. We need to understand that we need to come through and correct.
Yes.
You're pretty church.
Ooh, did it make you hot? Oh,
It's like,
ladies, let me also. I want to also add, I love listening to these Black and brown men talk. Okay, listening to the I used to just use it as like, oh, I can sit him down and get him out my way. Oh, your brothers is over there, y'all talking. Now I get to listen in and listening to men handle business, and men being compassionate to each other, and men being, understanding of each other and where they come from. It's just beautiful. It's inspiring to me also to see the growth of these gentlemen, most of which I have never met. I only hear their voices. I don't get to watch. I don't like to watch. I just moving in and out of the spaces, but listening to how Uche talks about it and how much he respects that time, it is a beautiful thing to see men come together and really work on bettering themselves, beyond the stigmas, beyond the stereotypes. And then being their full Black and brown selves. It is absolutely inspiring. It is something. It's one of the most beautiful things I witnessed in 2020. Yeah, was how their conversation grew. I hope
that's what this space is made up of.
Yeah. I mean, we're very grateful. We're very excited because the support of the ladies and the single others in our lives is really what really drives us to do this work. But one of the upcoming things we have going on now, of course, apart from protecting women, is the ability to activate and be more vocal in our activation. You see it when in protests or the Black Lives Movement, it was more women than men.
Always.
Always.
So it's gonna be women and young people.
Yeah,
And retired people.
every single time. So how
men
do
are targets. Our men are targets.
men are targets? And we realize that. So how do we train our men who know they're targets to use that target as an opportunity, which is the key part, because there's a power to being able to direct that racist person's mind from our women or our young or our older towards ourselves, and then turn that around
Right.
as a fuel or as a bullet for our own activation. So we have a virtual, webinar coming up this Wednesday, and we're going to be talking to one of our main national anxiety. He goes by Cha-Cha, and he's going to be sharing information to all the Black and brown men that join about how to activate, how to be that distraction for racist individuals, how to divert that attention so that our women, our young, and our older can be more effective in what they're doing, because we need to understand our place in creating change within our community. Black and brown men, when our wives or single other older young go out and protest, and we sit home because we are fearful of our job, or being targeted or being arrested because we fit that description on any given day, we need to realize, look, yes, that happens. How do you channel all of that misinformation? How do you channel those racists who may, instead of them targeting our people we love and care for, how do we divert their attention to us and then turn that around as fuel for whomever needs to leap forward? So
That's powerful.
yes, it is powerful. It is powerful.
I love that.
Man, that's an interesting take too. I like how you spoke on that, because a lot of brothers will stay home. A lot of people, it's just like it's safer. But then your children are out there.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm not in a rush to go to a protest. You know what I'm saying? But it's just more like what's in me. I have to go.
Yeah.
But even then, I'm checking for where I'm going. Okay, I'm going over to y'all spot.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Things have to be in place.
You gotta plan and prepare, and rightfully so,
like I'm
because
with my wife. It's like, all right, what am I gonna do if something pops off? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it's like always.
And then now we have legislation. A lot of states are passing legislation where if you get caught out in a protest, it's now no longer a misdemeanor; it's a felony.
It's a felony.
You can't receive stimulus benefits. You can't
that's a targeted
receive
law. It's
assistance.
like
You can get your
Marginalization
EBT
is
cut
real.
off.
Systemic racism is on all. It's still around.
Listen,
That's
all
some
laws.
systemic racism. If there was anything,
It's Jim Crow.
the fact that they were able to pass that as quickly as they did, it was
It's alarming.
directly affected Black people.
It's directly targeted us.
Directly targeted Indigenous
And that's
people.
how you know, because we
all
still
in the
trying to
same-
get an anti-lynching bill passed, but that shit just go.
And
up
none of the
Yeah.
Capitol rioters, none of those thugs
No.
are facing those charges.
Oh, no.
Because those charges are local,
Yeah.
and they got federal charges. And this is the one time when you wanted Fed charges, because they're more lenient than the state or local charges as far as rioting and assembling.
Yeah, because
whole
the laws are made to protect certain individuals, and they're made to screw others.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the laws are not made to protect us. That's why it's
They
important.
were
for us.
made. It's like Black people are the reason laws were even created.
Yeah, let's remember now.
Keep
The police was once called, what's it called again? The
Slave Patrol.
The Slave
Slave
Patrol.
Yeah.
That's the original
Change those
name.
books.
The creation of a lot of America's major cities' police departments coincide with Reconstruction.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with all these free Negroes running around?
They didn't have no police officers when they were slaves.
Yeah, I mean, they were even, what were they doing with the Black men? They were making them like renting them out to prisons, or renting brothers out and making them build and cut down
The
and build
prison
America.
system is the new
I'm
slave.
saying?
It's
Yeah.
new slavery. The prison system and the cycle of prison system, the ability to put a Black man in prison for the smallest offense or no offense, and then freely use him for his labor, directly took the space of sharecropping
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm
slavery. I mean, with within years.
And it's
you
just
saw
like-
the advent of prisons when slavery was denounced. It's
Yeah, black men do something and they put their knee in his neck. White man do something, they give him a burger and walk him out and tell him he had a bad day.
That verbiage in the 13th
You know
and the
what I'm
14th that says except for punishment for criminal acts, that's the killer. That's the whole amendment right there. Nothing else matters once that is in there.
yeah.
Because now it says all I got to do is turn you into a criminal, which ain't hard.
Turn you into a criminal.
Recently, we just saw a news article about, and this is San Antonio, pure San Antonio. You can hear what happened. So, Chief LaHood's son, right, was recently, and this is the chief of the fire department, was arrested in 2020 for having a fake ID.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, arrested for having a fake.
The son of the fire chief.
Now, when you have a fake ID, it's not a class A or B misdemeanor. It's a class C. You get a ticket, you get your thing, and you get sent home. You know, nothing happened. I mean, if any kid out there you know had a fake ID, have they ever been arrested?
Confiscated. You get a ticket.
You get a ticket. You don't go to jail for
They
a
took
fake
brother to
ID.
jail.
They
This is
took
a young black boy.
to jail.
Our fire chief is a black man. Our police chief is a white man. Most of our SAPD are white and brown. Most of our fire department is actually a little bit more diverse.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they took this, I don't want to call him a boy because he's 20
He was
years old.
17. He was 17 when he was arrested.
The fact that they took, he's a boy, yes. Okay, the fact that they took him to jail,
Booked him.
and took him to jail is where we missed it, because he did commit a crime. But the fact that he was then booked, taken to jail, and then later on it created a rift. It was dropped.
The charges were dropped
So it was
because it was illegal.
because it was illegal to arrest him. So now, by the end of the article we read in Express News, we see that there are vendettas. There are undercover vendettas. There are issues with equity, the decision making. That people are making decisions based on
Your color of your skin.
the color
rather
of your
than
skin and the emotions that they feel when they see the color of your skin. And now we have also now mixed in with that a little bit of power.
The last line, the city attorney said, "I'm not saying it's about race, but I will say that something fishy occurred in the arrest."
Listen.
This is the city attorney.
I know the little boy didn't told him, you know who my daddy is.
He did say that. The record show, he said, "You know who my daddy is. Like, I know I'm not supposed to get arrested for this. I know the law. I'm not. You guys are making a big mistake."
You know who my father is. There's lessons that we need to learn from this. There's lessons that they wanted to teach, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to now identify that, it's time to defund the police.
So
I'm not talking about fixing SAPD. I'm talking about let's pull some back. Let's pull back.
Well, let's do step by step
I
because
think-
let's do
go
step by step because whenever
Yeah, it's final thought.
no, not even final thought.
We got
Come on
final
now.
thought?
Oh shoot. Well, there is a Proposition B on the ballot coming up for this upcoming elections. Everybody needs to vote. I know folks think, "Oh man, we don't do the federal vote." No, local elections
Local is everything.
is where it matters because federal doesn't mean shit to what is going on in your neighborhood.
Judges, prosecutors,
Right.
Yeah.
So
Clerks.
you need to vote.
City
You need
managers.
to vote yes to Proposition B because right now, City of San Antonio citizens do not have any right to hold the police accountable. The police hold themselves accountable.
How? How is that even a
Oh,
thing?
it is straight illegal.
This is one.
I know it is.
So that's why it's important for each and every one of us for the upcoming elections to vote yes on Proposition B, which makes the citizens hold the police accountable for their actions. 5 years ago, this did not go into play. The police did what they want. Now we had a poop. Did you guys hear about the serial
shit
pooping
sandwich.
police officer, the serial pooper?
What?
Oh, you didn't hear about this? He was there was a police officer who was actively serving
Feces.
pieces sandwiches
To homeless.
individuals. He was under the guise of, "Are you hungry? Oh, here you go." He will, in his demented mind, poop in a sandwich,
He got
package it
this.
up, put it in a plastic bag like it's a real
You
sandwich,
got
and
shit
give
on
it
your
to
hand when
people.
you did that. You know you got shit on your hand when you did that.
It's
Of
just
course,
happened.
he's sick.
Let me tell
That's
you
the
what
amount
what
that-
got him arrested and kicked off the force
Right.
after doing this twice. Tom.
No, he was caught twice. So he was only caught twice. So he must be
but
more
he's
than
done it a couple of times. Gotta be. He's done it a couple of times. He's a serial shitter, right? This man then turned around and got mad at some women on the force and shit in the bathroom, the women's bathroom, and spread it all over the wall. A whole psychopath.
That's what they finally took to take
A
him
whole
off the force.
psychopath.
He has a feces problem.
He's a psychopath.
He's therapy.
But these are all
He
the
has
people
a
who
feces
have
fetish.
But
yeah.
this is our police force. This is the problem we're facing.
That Proposition B, it'll allow for transparency so that when the police union make deals with the city managers and the mayor to say, hey, this is what the services that we're going to offer, we have some type of say in it. Not just the city managers being like, that looks kind of messed up,
right.
but what other choice do we have? Nobody's objecting? Cool. Because as it is right now, if, say, a police officer offended you during a traffic stop and you want to file a complaint, you have only 3 months. If you wait 3 months in a day, they're not going to listen to you. They're going to throw it out. If your complaint actually does get heard and get filed,
If it gets filed.
if it gets filed,
If they don't
no
intimidate
matter
you
what,
after that.
what do you call it, happens from it, no matter what type of discipline is handed down, it automatically gets expunged after a year on that cop's record.
It does.
Wow, and that is a wrap for the show. Dave took it away. I want to thank my special guest for educating us today. We definitely got to come back and finish because you just jumped in a whole lot of, you just opened up a whole lot of things right here at the end. But that makes for a good conversation. And got me thinking about this vaccine. Anyway, it's the Detailed Did It Podcast Network. We live from the Barber Cave. Shout out to Dave. Shout out to the live studio audience. And shout out to my really dope guests. Make sure y'all do y'all research. And don't talk nobody out of it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need some publicist stuff. Holla. What's y'all handles and things real quick, so just in case people want to reach out.
At OG Chris O
On Twitter.
and chris.b.ogba on Instagram, and I'm Uchenaya Ogba all through all social channels.
Dave, what's your handle?
It is
Time's up.
Ori 5 Productions. That's ORI number 5 Productions.
All right, and I'm Detail, your host, man. You can catch me at Detail Did It on pretty much any platform, aka Derek Johnson. God bless, peace, and I guess go get shot. Hey.